Hey guys, welcome to ANS Solver. Today we'll be doing the concept of integration by parts, okay, which is a subtopic in the chapter of further integration. So for this concept, you need to remember a very important acronym, okay, which is basically ILATE, okay. I basically means inverse, okay, I means inverse, L means logs, A means algebra, okay, T means trigonometry, correct, or trigo, and E means exponents. Okay, this is what you basically need to know. And the most important thing here for ILATE is the order. Okay, like inverse comes first, then logs, then algebra, then trigo, then exponents. Okay, this is what you need to know. Now, let's say if I give you a question, which is the integration of x sin x dx. As you can see, you need to use integration by parts because here you can see your x is algebra and your sin x is trigonometry. Now, in the order of ILATE, I know algebra comes before trigonometry, correct? So whichever is my algebra, I take that as u. So I take my u as x, and whichever comes after, in this case which is trigonometry, which is sin x, I take that as my v dash, which is equal to sin x, correct? Now what I simply do is, I calculate my u dash and I calculate my v. So for calculating u dash, I need to differentiate x. The differentiation of x is 1. And for calculating v, I need to integrate sin x. The integration of sin x, okay, is simply minus cos x. Correct? This is what I basically get. Now, once I have my u, v, u dash and v dash, I need to know a very important formula. Okay? The formula is basically the integration, okay, of, or sorry, my bad, not the integration. It's basically u into v, okay, minus the integration of u dash into v. Okay, so it's u into v minus the integration of u dash into v dx. This is what you basically need to know. Okay, so basically here you do u into v, so you have x, okay, into minus cos x minus the integration of u dash into v, which is basically 1, okay, into v, which is minus cos x, correct, dx. Now I can simply write this as minus x cos x. I can see the minus and the minus here, and I can write it as plus the integration of cos x dx. Now I can write this as minus x cos x plus the integration of cos x, correct, which is simply sin x, correct. So I'll simply just get plus sin x, and because this is without the limits, we add a plus c. So this is basically the final answer. So one thing you need to know, actually you need to know many things, is first ILATE. Then you need to identify what an ILATE, okay, basically like this is algebra, this is trigonometry. Then you need to know which comes before, which comes after. Give the before part the u, give the after part the v dash, then you calculate the u dash and v. See, you don't use v dash directly in the formula, but you need it to calculate your v, correct? And then you have your formula, you substitute and get the answer, correct? So I'll just mark this. This is the formula which you need to remember. Okay, it's very important, correct? Now what we'll do is we'll do a past paper question, and there we'll also learn if we have limits, how do we crack the answer. Okay, so basically this example is from 2020 May June paper 32, we need the exact value of the integration of x raised to 3 over 2 ln x dx, okay, with the limits 1 to 4. So I need to remember I late, correct? Remembering I late is important, okay? I is inverse, L is logs, A is algebra, correct? T is trigonometry, which is trigo, and E is exponents, correct? So now what I have here in this case, okay, I have x raised to 3 by 2. X raised to 3 by 2 is algebra, okay, and ln x, okay, is logs. Now in the order of ILATE, if you see, logs comes before algebra, correct? That means you give your u equals to ln x and you give your v dash to x raised to 3 over 2, correct? Now you simply calculate your u dash first, the differentiation of ln x, which is 1 over x, okay, and you calculate your v, which is the integration of x raised to 3 over 2. So you can write this as x raised to 3 over 2 plus 1, correct, which is basically 5 over 2 divided by 3 over 2 plus 1, which is 5 over 2. Basic integration, correct? 5, just give me 1 second. Yeah, 5 over 2, correct? So you can simply write this as 2 over 5 x raised to 5 over 2, correct? You can simply write it like this. Understood? Now what you can do is you can use the formula, which is basically u into v minus the integration of, okay, v into u dash. Now because you have limits, okay, there's a change in formula which you need to know. It's a very small change. Basically with u into v, you add limits, which is a and b, and here also you have limits, which is a and b. So this another thing which you need to notice, okay? So basically now I can write this as u into v, okay, u into v in this case will basically be ln x multiplied by 2 over 5 x raised to 5 over 2, with the limits which you have as 1 to 4 minus, here I have the limits 1 to 4 with the integration of v into u dash, which is 2 over 5, okay, with x raised to 5 by 2 multiplied to u dash, which is basically 1 over x, correct? 1 over x dx, correct? So now what you can do is, in the place of x, first you put, or before that, sorry, you make a line here, okay? This is just for easy calculation, okay? So now let's focus on this first. In the place of x, I can simply put 4. So I can write this as, okay, ln 4, okay, multiplied by 2 over 5 with 4 raised to 5 by 2 minus, I can put 1, so I get ln 1 into 2 by 5 with 1 raised to 5 by 2, correct? So now what I can simply do is, I can write this simply as, okay, I can write this as 2 over 5 into 4 raised to 5 over 2, correct? I can write this as 64 over 5 ln 4, correct? Minus, I can simply write 0 here because I know ln 1 is 0. So I'm left with 64 over 5 ln 4, correct? This is what I'm basically left with. Now what I do is, I focus on this. Here I can write this as the integration from 1 to 4 of 2 over 5 x raised to 3 by 2 because you have an x, so when it's divided from 5 by 2 it becomes 3 by 2 dx. Now I can write this as 2 over 5 with the integration from 1 to 4 with x raised to 3 by 2 dx. Now I can write this as 2 by 5. The integration of x raised to 3 by 2 is x raised to 5 by 2 over 5 by 2. Correct? From 1 to 4. Now I can write this as 2 by 5. Okay, with 2 by 5 x raised to 5 by 2. Correct? With 1 to 4. Now I can write this as 2 by 5. Okay, in the place of x I can first put 4. When I do that, I get my answer as 64 by 5. Minus, in the place of x I can put 1, where I get 2 by 5. Now what I can do is I can simply solve this full thing on the calci and I get my answer as 124 over 25, which is basically the answer for this part. Now I can merge both of them. I can write this as 64 by 5, correct, multiplied by ln 4, okay, minus 124 by 25, which you can simply write as your final answer. Okay, just one reference. If you refer to this paper, in this question, what they have done is they have given the answer as 128 over 5 ln 2 minus 124 over 25. You need to know that this is equivalent, correct? If you want me to prove it, I can prove it. I know here this can be written as 64 over 5 with ln 2 raised to 2 minus 124 over 25. Now I can use the log property, which states that log of a raised to b can be written as b log a. So using this property, I can write this as 64 over 5 multiplied by 2 ln 2, which can be written as 128, okay, over 5 ln 2 with minus 124 over 25. Correct? This is basically how it's written in the mark scheme. But even if you write this as your answer, correct, this is also alright because even this is in the exact terms. You won't go wrong. You will get all your 5 marks. So don't worry. I just wanted to refer this so that, if you go and refer, this paper and this question, you shouldn't think that this is the wrong answer. Okay, this is just one reference which I wanted to give. Okay, this is basically just in the MS. Okay, and you need to know that even this is correct and this is basically equal to this. So both answers are correct. Okay, this is the only thing I wanted to address. Okay, so nothing to worry about. You can write this also as your final answer. Correct? Got it? Simple. But the main thing to understand here is basically the concept. Okay, what to take as your u, what to take as your v dash. And then your formula. Correct? So now we'll do one very important type of question. Here they'll ask you the integration of ln x dx. Now there's no direct formula for the integration of ln x. You need to know that. What you need to know is you have to write this as the integration of 1 into ln x dx. Okay. Now what you do is you write this as isolate. Okay. You know that ln x is L. Okay. And whenever you have a constant, that comes after. Like that's the last thing you write. So basically, here in this case, you take your u as ln x and you take your v dash as 1. Always. Whenever you have constant, you always take that as v dash. Okay, because it makes sense even in another way. If you take your v dash as ln x, then you for calculating the v, you again need to integrate ln x. And you cannot integrate ln x. That's not possible because there's no direct formula for it. You need to use something like this. Now you calculate your u dash, which is basically 1 over x. And you calculate your v, which is the integration of 1, which is x. Now you use the formula u into v minus the integration of v u dash. So u into v is basically x ln x minus the integration of v into u dash, which is basically x into 1 over x dx. Now this can basically be written as x ln x minus the integration of 1 dx. Now I can write this simply as x ln x minus the integration of 1, which is x, and because there are no limits I write plus c. So this was one very important type which I just wanted to refer. Okay, this is only mainly for ln x. Okay, but yeah, in this chapter there are many type of questions which they ask, okay, even in the past papers. So don't worry, these were only some types. Obviously we can't cover all the types in this video because then the video will be really long because there are too many types of questions they ask. So the only thing you can master this is by practice. Just keep on practicing, do the topic wise past papers properly, and even if you get stuck, you can view our video solutions and get a mastery of this chapter. Okay, so yeah, this was basically the main concept of by parts which you basically need to know. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Please view the next video.